Oh, there we go. Already starting. Yep.
Oh, you're getting the farts out?
Yep. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that first one. Yeah. We should have. I've been on board with this many times, but
Oh no, someone was in the room when I did that.
Well, she'll get used to it. I think.
Yeah, she's gonna have to.
Pro fart, pro flatulence, pro gas podcast here. That's why I have my Miller latte cracked.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna get a little carbonation going.
I'll tell you what, I am never drinking a Miller Lite again after this weekend.
That was the drink of choice.
No. I'm gonna save that for your question that you have for today because I'm gonna try and keep it succinct. My answer, but
I'm sure that you can go in a million different directions. Yeah. Okay.
But that is related.
I like that. All right.
I don't.
What was the drink pre? When you're all getting ready with the fellas, getting dressed up and everything.
What's funny when we didn't do anything. Okay. It was my parents, my brother, Lauren, and I all went in my dad's Jeep to the ceremony. So we weren't drinking at all before that. But then afterwards, there were Miller Lights, there were High Noons, I think White Claws, and then some other odd seltzer I'd never heard of before.
The seltzers are all the rage. I'm surprised. I appreciate a nice classic light beer. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Just give me a good Miller, Coors, Bud Light.
See, you know what? All the stuff at Idle Hands made me realize, I like IPAs a lot. That's my thing.
Really? See, but they're so heavy, though. It's like how many, you don't drink a lot. I want to be able to just pound watered down beer. That's what I want.
And that's fair. To me, though, I don't feel dense or anything like that after I have an IPA. But if I have Sam Adams, if I have two, it's like I'm turning into a balloon.
Really? Interesting, because I feel like that's like Sam Adams and other craft beers. Like Sam Adams is not really craft anymore, but they started out as that. But I feel like they're kind of on the same par.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't understand it, but I've tested it out. I now have my default Nashua or New Hampshire drink, Green North Ale Works.
Nice! Look at you digging right into the economy.
Yes, sir. So it's been so I'm happy about that. At least got that going for me. Honestly, God, I didn't think I was going to drink anything after this weekend, but I don't know. I guess
a little hair of the dog. A little hair of the dog never hurts.
Oh God, yeah, man. Just thinking
certainly living free. Let me send a little tweet out here.
Yeah, you're good. I'm doing the Facebook one right now. I got all the other ones up. Come on. Yep, there. Boom, and good.
I'm getting slow reception. We got rain here for the first time in a long time, Nick. It was much needed. It was good.
Really? Okay, so when I moved up here, well, maybe another rain got to you because it was raining like crazy when I moved up here, but I have rain now too.
Oh yeah, dude, thunderstorms, all that good stuff. But enough of the weather. Enough of the weather, right? Because who cares about that, Other than people controlling it.
That's what all my notes are on. Shit.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to talk about who's controlling the weather, I'm happy to do that too. So we can
no, that is some interesting shit. That is some interesting stuff. But no, I do want to do our second Captain Marvel review on Change My Mind.
Right? Is this our second one?
Episode 8. I just found the notes, Wes.
Oh, geez. Okay, so that'll be good. We'll go back for this here. We'll see how much. I forgot that we even did this. Okay. So a true rewatch vault. Okay, so we get started here in 3, 2, 1. When we're not abiding by the be kind, rewind law of Blockbuster, we can be seen cutting our sandwiches the long way. I am Wesley Sykes. Through the other side of the ether is the rake yawn to my yawn rog. It's Nicholas J. Esquire flirking for hire.
You know what? My insides probably look like that of a flirkin after this weekend.
You got a tesseract inside your stomach right now?
I don't know about that. I was more thinking about those nasty ass tentacles that thing had. I forgot how gross those were.
Oh yeah. Those are pretty gross there too. All right. Well, maybe if you're listening to the pre-show here, we are about to do our second review because we're cracking back open the MCU Rewatch Vault to discuss 2019's Captain Marvel, starring Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, and Jude Law. Nick, you just reminded me, episode 8, if you want to go back into the archives.
Yeah, episode 8. And I don't think, Wes, that we had a score for this because I'm looking at the notes.
This was just pre-score. We just did not take that copious of notes.
No, I mean, well, okay. I just can't tell here. Actually, no. We have notes. We didn't have the system that we have now.
Right,
we have a much more advanced system. Rewatch vaults,
refined.
You established the awards for our exit surveys. You have this thing that you give out to the people. You've done an outstanding job with these notes. These are back. Well, you set a great template for them. You did that because this is back then when it was like chaos, free for all. Now we're just controlled chaos. But I'm not seeing a score anywhere other than like Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb. That's all I've seen so far as I'm scanning through this. Our 2v1s, remember those days?
Oh, those are fun days. Who was the 2v1? Hit us with the 2v1 real quick, Nick.
Elektra, Black Widow, and Harley Quinn. That's a pretty good one. I don't think Harley Quinn's the one that you're having protect you from the other two. It's down to Elektra and Black Widow for me.
If I remember correctly, I think I can go put us right back in our WBSM studios. I can picture our former guy in the chair, Tim Weisberg, off to my left, maybe as a crow flies, maybe northwest. And you would probably say Elektra because you would want her to protect you from any danger. Does that feel like right in the mind of Nick Fryer?
She can protect me however she wants. Yeah, whatever. I'm trusting her completely. Yes, her lies, my lie. But yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking about her thighs. Sorry,
thighs, lies. They never lie. I think that's a saying there. I would go with the Black Widow, just because, much like in a similar vein, Nick. I'm a big Scarlett Johansson fan. She could save me any day. Although Margot Robbie, she's Barbie, so it's a real pickle that we're in.
I'm excited for that movie. That's going to be fun. I don't know.
I'm not sure if I would use the word excited. It's certainly a movie. We'll see. We'll see how that works out there. But on to another movie that's, just a movie. We will be reviewing 2019's Captain Marvel here. But before we get into all of that, Nick, you were a part of a holy matrimony this weekend. Not your holy matrimony, but you played a big role in it in your brother. So, of course, what goes with the best man's position is a speech.
Yeah.
I need the play-by-play, Nick. Hit me with the play-by-play. Did you go within the time limit? Did you go 3 minutes, 5 minutes? I know you had a couple of bridesmaids ahead of you.
Yep. So not only that, my brother gave this speech at his rehearsal dinner. And it was it was a little long, but like no one was like, oh, he's going so long. It was epic, dude. I was bawling. Lauren was so taken aback by it afterwards, and a lot of people were. So he goes and gives this awesome speech. My parents both spoke at it. They did a great job. My sister-in-law's father did an awesome job, and my brother's sister-in-laws did really well. So there was a lot of pressure on me. So I decided, I had the whole thing memorized. I talked to you about length of time. I talked about my first high school catcher about my length of time. I talked to Lauren, did a little bit of research. I was like, okay, I refined from what I had. I timed myself in practice and got it to 3:14 when I did it. So I'm like, all right, I have wiggle room. Tight. I know what I want to do. And I did it just notes, almost like a PowerPoint, but just one sheet.
Yep.
Didn't plan on using it. I did have to at the very end because I looked at Jake. I didn't look at him the whole time, and I kind of lost it when I looked at him.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
Then
you had to center yourself. You had to pull back in.
Yeah, exactly. So it was an okay time for me to do that. But I'll tell you what, if you were catching the pre-show, Wes was drinking a Miller Lite, and I said to him, I never want to see one of those fucking things again in my life. Wow. Yeah. But you can't. It depends. But dude. We're on the bus on the way there to the reception, and we're all drinking, and I'm pacing myself, trying to make sure I'm a little fluid going into it, but I want to make sure I'm still straight at the same time. I don't want to start fumbling words. But they get to the last beer supposedly the last beer in the cooler, and it gets handed to me, and I'm like, okay, hey, who wants this? And then one of Jake's groomsmen goes, oh, you got a shotgun it, Nick. It's the last one. You're the best man. I'm like, shut up, because nobody heard him. I thought. And then
that's a great idea.
Oh, it's a terrible idea, dude. You're 30 years old. Can't do this shit anymore.
No, you can shotgun a beer. Of course you can.
So then someone else yeah, Nick, you got to drink it. Yeah, Nick. I'm like, oh no. And then they start chanting my name, and I'm like, I can't let Jake down. So I didn't shotgun it. I chugged it just because I'm not going to go and make a mess on the party bus. So I chugged it.
It's a party bus. That's what the party bus is for.
That's
the party.
But one of them, fine. I'm definitely feeling a buzz right away, whatever. But then, Wes, we come back out. We were at like this like farmhouse in Connecticut before we went to the reception. Just take a few more pictures. I get out there. The bus driver comes out and he's like, "Hey, I found one more of these." And I'm like, "Oh no." And then everybody starts chanting my name again. And I'm like, "Fuck me, dude." And I chugged it again. And then that's when I had drank 4 coffees between then and my speech because I was like,
oh my God, good. Four coffees?
Yeah, it took too long for him to kind of hit me. It was bad. And then after I was done, I was like, because it went well, I was buzzing, man. Oh God.
Yeah. You should have, tossed it off. You used that pitching arm of yours and tossed it off to someone else. That second one. The first one you do out of obligation. The second one, you got to show. Put your foot down,
You're right. Well, so I definitely had people in my ear telling me, "Nick, you're too drunk right now. You got to drink coffee." I'm like, "All right, I know." I wasn't even being a jerk. They could just tell by my face. It was rough, but ponied up it went well. And I'll tell you what, the response to the speech was very good, and I was very happy about it. But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to go into detail on here, but there were definitely some people who really liked the speech and probably liked it a little bit too much.
Hit a little close to home.
Yep, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I'm glad that everybody liked it. That's really all that matters in the end. But the wedding was great, Wes. It was on a golf course, actually. So they had the driving range right by the reception. So Jake had it set up where they had like 5 golf bags there, and you could tee up. Cool. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You would have loved that. It was great.
That's a great time. I love that. I played some golf this weekend. We can get to that a little bit later in the program.
Oh, you did
a little bit of golf, not a whole lot, just a little bit. But before that, Nick, She-Hulk season 1, episode 1, entitled "A Normal Amount of Rage," premiered on Thursday. Right, so not on Wednesday like all the previous Disney Plus shows. Received a 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb for a season overall. Nice, love that. But a 7.0 for the episode. I don't really know how that translates if there's only been one episode released. This has also received the most 1-star votes by a Disney Plus show in IMDb history. I'm not sure if that's organic or not. But it's got an 86-66 split on Rotten Tomatoes, maybe suggesting that 7.0 out of 10 on IMDb, right smack in the middle, right? Call it even Steven. So I busy weekend. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I unfortunately did not. I definitely had 39 minutes to watch it on Sunday, but I was like borderline in a coma, so I couldn't watch it.
I would imagine it's tough. It's tough going. It was fun watch. I liked it. I watched it Friday afternoon or so. It was good. Little heavy-handed in the commentary there. I think maybe you've seen that in some of the clips.
Sure.
I think the one that's going viral is that she's her monologue to Bruce, that she's infinitely more angry and in control of her anger all the time because she's a woman. That's essentially what it is. Little bit of again heavy-handed, on the nose type of comment there. We like a little bit more subtlety. Also, I'm not sure if that fully falls in line. The Hulk. She's saying that to the Hulk. That's kind of
the Hulk is supposedly the best at it.
Who handles all the rage? Like one point, she does say something like, "I deal with it when I have incompetent men tell me how to do my job better than me," and that's within the same monologue that she's saying how she handles anger better than the Hulk. So it's like she's like kind of making fun of herself in that because she's telling the Hulk how to handle anger. I don't know. It's a whole kind of crazy thing. You haven't seen the episode yet. You gotta watch it a little. But I think if you move that aside, the CGI wasn't an issue for me. I thought some things were really funny. It should set up some things. So it ended kind of on a cliffhanger. So I'm kind of eager to see where it goes with that. And spoiler alert, Nick, Cap is confirmed not a virgin on here. Again, I don't know if you saw this.
Oh, good for him.
There was a little bit of conversation in one of the final teaser trailers that we talked about last week,
right?
About whether they were discussing whether or not Cap was a virgin. I think we've had the discussion. I'm sure many other Marvel fans have. But he is confirmed not a virgin. It was with some broad on a USO tour in the 1940s.
Yeah, I saw. Okay, yep, I saw the images for that. That was Wasn't that
So
the woman?
I think that's Goo connecting dots there. I'm not sure if that's the actual blonde woman there.
Okay.
But you could say this. So this was an idea that actually Kevin Feige came up with.
Because
Whoever it was whoever would be on, but it would make the most sense, right? He's like, this is what I've said for a long time. Like, he's just banging bronze left and right, like the Star Spangled Girls.
Well, yeah, but
when he's out on tour like that, absolutely.
Isn't that blonde girl the same actress who played Peter Quill's mom? And wasn't the whole thing that Feige, I thought, said that's the one who when she runs into Steve Rogers, that's actually Peter Quill's grandmother, not his mom. I thought that I mean I could be making that up.
Now that you mention that feels like that kind of rings a bell.
So what if Steve Rogers is Star-Lord's grandfather?
Yeah, man. See, now that's an all in the family type of situation here.
Yep, that would be something. But I am very excited to watch
all from She-Hulk.
Yeah, all just from She-Hulk. So where would you say, like, the first episode? Are you on the 7 range?
I think the 7's a good range. You know, okay. I think it was a light episode. It kind of jumps right to it. You know, it doesn't spend too long about how she got her powers, which, you know, it's kind of like a fine line. It feels like some people want that backstory and it feels like it's earned, and other people are like, let's just get to the story already. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's like you can't please everyone sort of thing. But yeah, it was a decent first episode. So okay, I'm excited to see where it goes.
The other first episode that we got to was the first episode of the House of Dragons from Game of Thrones through the prequel show, and I didn't get to watch this. You don't watch Thrones, right?
No. I'm a big Thrones man. I am all over Game of Thrones. Yeah,
why did I feel like we didn't? We never did stuff on Thrones, though, did we?
No, because I didn't think you watched it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, no, I love Thrones. I've been on that since day one, like legit day one.
I
watched it in college. Where it's like it came out for me. Like it came out my freshman year. I might have like started after the first season, or maybe like midway through the first season. But I remember like watching it.
And you watched it through live, like through the final season and everything like that?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, we had the podcast then, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I thought you didn't watch it. That's fucking weird. How do we never talk about that? We just do so much Marvel stuff. We get lost.
I mean, this was definitely the BSM, you know, pre-Testament days.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I can go back and find any notes in here. But did you watch it?
No, I haven't seen House of the Dragons yet, but again, this is supposed to be set 200 years into before the events of Game of Thrones here. So, you know, I think this is all Targaryen on Targaryen, all dragon action here. We got our guy from Morbius who you know, was crippled and then learned how to dance again.
It's like Matt Smith or something.
Yeah. He's like one of the lead actors in this. So, it's getting pretty good reviews here. And I think the reception's been pretty good. It's got a 4.5 out of 5 on Google reviews. So, you know, that's worth something these days, right?
Yeah, it is. The buzz coming out of this on Twitter, it was just so funny because like everybody's like, "Oh my god, I'm so pissed at Thrones," and now I'm so back in. But it's easy to do that with this property. I mean, it's just so amazing, and I've done zero research on this show, so I'm going in just. I know it's the Targaryens. I didn't even know some of the casting news. We're not talking about it on the show much. So I'm excited to just go in and like just soak it in and give me what it is.
Yeah, it's got an 82 on Rotten Tomatoes right now. And again, like I wasn't really looking forward. I didn't read into this show too much. I was just going to, again, kind of like you said, just kind of let it come to me here. But I might wait and let a couple episodes build up so I can just kind of binge them at a certain point in time. And then really jump in, because kind of like you were saying about Game of Thrones, I was probably from season 2 on watching it live.
So I'm looking back in our old Google Docs in episode 13. We talked about season 8, episode 2 of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
So we just forgot because it's been so long, but we definitely have talked about it.
Yeah. Well, we got 184 episodes under our belt here.
That's for damn sure. I cannot believe we've both.
And our brains are kind of mush, you know. Like right now, we all. You know, you're coming back from the wedding bender, you know, and I'm never there, so yeah.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm definitely toast right now.
But I'm in on House of the Dragons though. That's the bottom line here. I'll give it a watch. Although Matt Smith, he's got kind of a weird looking face. I gotta, you know.
So he was he was Doctor Who for a long time too. That's something I've never looked into.
Okay.
Not really interested in it, but that's obviously a big property too. Not part of our stuff that we watch, however. But both of these shows we're leaning toward reviewing them.
I think so. I think this is nice, something nice to have, a nice week-to-week show here.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know if you've been watching this, another week-to-week program that I really like, The Rehearsal. This has been kind of like all the rage in our group chat over the last couple of days between Billy, Mac, and myself. And The Rehearsal with Nathan Fielder, we talked about it on kind of like the best of what we've watched this summer. That show just ended. Very controversial show. I mean, if you and Lauren are into like reality TV and kind of like a mockumentary style type of thing, it's very cringeworthy. So I'll tell you that up front. But it's all done. It's very interesting. Yeah, it's 6 episodes.
Okay, and did you want to do something on here with that?
No, not necessarily. I just kind of wanted to mention it.
Okay, all right. I
think you might like it though.
I remember seeing you guys gush over that, and I was thinking about giving that a shot for sure. I got, what is it, that, and then we have Sandman that I'm watching right now too. There is no shortage of good shows right now. It's
We're getting into the fall season. I feel like that's kind of when the school year starts back up. You know, all the good fall shows kind of come back out too.
Yeah, so. And we're totally here for it. Now that we're through the summer, it's totally fine.
Summer's not over yet though.
This is true.
Yeah, we're not counting chickens just yet.
Not wishing that away by any stretch. But it is time for us to get to the comic book minute. So for TLDR this week, it looks like we're going to have another something special planned for the listeners. Still hasn't happened yet, so not going to tell you what that is till it's done.
All right.
But we will have what's new. I did forget to upload what's new last week, everybody. I apologize for that. Obviously, with the wedding stuff, kind of got lost in everything. As for books coming out this week that we're looking forward to, Batman White Knight presents Red Hood, the second issue of that. Gunslinger Spawn 11 issue, the Scorched issue 9, Radiant Black 17 public domain. A lot of great Image stuff, which is pretty on brand for them. So very excited for all that. Axe Judgment Day, something with Marvel you guys may want to keep a look on for. That is, I believe, Eternals and X-Men. Third issue of that's out this week. I haven't read any of it, but it's written by Kieran Gillen, who we like a lot on TLDR. So just something you guys may want to look into. I'm going to try and catch up on some of that stuff because that seems like it could have some serious ramifications with their Krakoa and everything going on with X-Men right now.
The Krakoa.
Krakoa. Yeah, sure. Exactly. I'm actually,
dark chocolate. I'm a dark chocolate fan.
I always talk about how you've got to read the tea leaves when it comes to Kevin Feige and what's going on with like comics and everything.
Sure.
And with X-Men, they have like their own office at Marvel. And thinking about it right now, all this Krakoa stuff, they could do something with that, and that be how they bring in the X-Men into the MCU. They totally could.
Are you saying the Cucumbas, like the team from Hardball with Michael B. Jordan? And
yeah, obviously. Aren't you listening? Michael B. Jordan, of course.
That's right. I thought you were saying the Keanu Reeves coach team. That's how you bring them into the fold. Into the
Rancho Cucamongas, exactly. Yep,
yes, I gotcha. Yes, yeah. That's now we're on the same page. Okay. Why didn't you say it the first time?
I'm sorry. I just I'm still like a little fucked up. So let's go. I
got you.
Let's get to our main topic.
10-4. Yeah, which is the MCU Rewatch Vault, of course, 2019's Captain Marvel. And Nick, just by a hair, looks like you lost the poll, and I was awarded the second best Chris Award in Hollywood to Chris Pine. So you will stay with the cast and crew. Very narrow voting there, but just by the
I'll tell you what,
my chinny chin.
There are sometimes where I feel like it's the listeners just have such a strong opinion before they listen to our show just about what we're talking about. They're going to go one way or the other. I definitely had the advantage of that going into this conversation. So I believe I did at least. So hats off to you, my friend. You earned that win.
Well, that's sometimes, a squirrel finds a duck every now and again, right?
Yes. We also have a bunch of prudes apparently too. That's what the real issue is.
Oh yeah. There's afraid of dick pics.
Yep.
So I will get the synopsis. You have the cast and crew here. Carol Danvers becomes one of the universe's most powerful heroes when Earth is caught in the middle of a galactic war between two alien races. Nick.
Written and directed by Anna Bodden and Ryan Fleck, starring Brie Larson as Carol Danvers, Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, Ben Mendelsohn as Talos, Jude Law as John Rogg, Annette Bening as Supreme Intelligence, Jimon Honsu as Korath, Lee Pace as Ronan, which I still didn't think it was him in this. Lashana Lynch as Maria Rambo, Gemma Chan as Min Irva, Clark Gregg as Agent Coulson, Akira Akbar as Monica Rambeau, Rune Temte as Braun Char, and Algenis Perez Soto as Atlas. Some of these fucking names. Minerva, Atlas.
Well, Lee Pace, that's a name. I've been seeing him all over Twitter recently. He's kind of had like a little bit of a glow up. I think he's on like a cover of some magazine and everything. So,
I mean, he's Ronan the Accuser, which is a pretty badass role. Like, he obviously died real quick and all this, but he's a pretty like psychotic character.
And the comic book lore, right?
But I mean, even in like, I know in Guardians, like, okay, oh wait a minute, in Guardians, how did you feel about him? Like, did you not like him? Did you think
it was fine? It was just, he was a middle of the road villain for me.
Okay, I feel like okay,
because he was kind of a patsy.
You know what? That's fair for Thanos. You mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I just think when you get into like religious zealots and them kind of going like off the rails, he's kind of like that. So I find that interesting. I like his look, but he's that.
I hear you on that.
And he's also Legolas's dad too. So he's got some pretty like the roles he gets put in. They're obviously not like main characters, but they're like people you don't want to fuck with. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one there. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Box office and critics reception. Received a 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb, as well as a 79, 49, 45 split on Rotten Tomatoes, with a 3.0 out of 5 on Google reviews, while 75% of Google users enjoyed this movie. This hauled in $426.8 million domestically, Nick, including $153 million on its opening weekend, and $1.1 billion worldwide. That's a billion with a B. That ranks 10th in the MCU, ahead of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which fell just shy of $1 billion. So only $10 billion movies in MCU history to this point, and behind Spider-Man Far From Home.
That's interesting. So it made, I wonder, okay, maybe I could sound really stupid here when I say this, but like 1.1 billion worldwide. So it's obviously factoring the domestic, but how often does it happen where it's making more outside of the US? Like with any of these,
I think that's a more recent thing that's happened, like within the last like 10 years or so. And when you get that China box office, when they allow those movies in there, which I would imagine this one was,
right.
I think that you easily get that bump. I think for one of the other movies we just mentioned, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I don't think that was shown in China. I think because of the spooky ghosts.
Yep.
They don't allow that there.
Oh no, did Wes just freeze on me? I think he did. That is unfortunate. I will fix this in post, unlike some people who don't actually fix shit in post. I actually do that every once in a while. No one ever wants to talk about it, but I do it. So this is really annoying, and this is the worst day for me to have to ad-lib and fill the gap for Wes right now, because I'll tell you what, guys, I am not feeling great. Oh, I also cannot believe that Captain Marvel. I can't believe Far From Home was number 9 in box office, MCU box office. That's insane. I don't think Wes knows that he froze either. So this is also not ideal. I'll let him know. But man, oh yep, there he goes. So but Far From Home, I know we've already done it and talked about it on this show quite a bit, but I absolutely love that movie, and it is. And we will get to our CMM MCU rankings in a second. But I can see you, Wes. You can come back in now. Yeah, there we go.
I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know why that happened.
It's okay. I just talked to the people and told them this is the worst time for this to ever happen to us. Because
fucking StreamYard, man.
I don't know.
It's the worst. I think I was saying though, you get that China bump. When you release it, and when you get that there. So that's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah, and all I was adding in was I just can't believe Far From Home that puts it at number 9 on the list. And, you talk about like inflation and stuff like that, and I get it. I get that it's the post-pandemic too. That also probably makes a big difference. And this probably got help because it's right before, was it Endgame? So like,
Far From Home was right after Endgame too. So that you're kind of feeding it off that wake thing.
Oh wait, Far From Home. I'm mixing it up with No Way Home. What an idiot! Yeah, okay, never mind. All right, Far From Home.
No Way Home was also $1 billion movie. Yeah,
right, but that one I would have thought would have been like top 5. So that's why.
I see. I see what you're saying. I got you.
Yeah.
Too many. I know. That's what you get. You have a No Way Home. Too many movies with the same title like that. You're screwing yourself.
Yeah. And I'm already screwed myself right now. Let's get to the score and tweet length review. Do you want to lead us off today?
Yeah, maybe before my internet craps out here. I give this a 75 out of 100. This movie doesn't make me feel much inside. Perhaps that's an extension of Brie Larson's performance. Perhaps that's an extension of the character itself. We'll get into that a little bit. Though I'm not exactly sure it was worth all of the backlash that it received upon its release and thereafter. It's still a tough rewatch for me.
So this is my second rewatch of it, like recently, because we got our scheduling screwed up. I think we actually did before this too. I think we told her we were doing Endgame.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the second time in a few months that I've rewatched this. Still, after all that, I am giving it a 78 out of 100, which is definitely a dip down from where I would have had it originally. That said, didn't age as poorly as I remembered. Still isn't something that I ever plan to watch again, though. I think, like where sometimes people will gush over some movies, and that's like made me like certain movies less than everybody else originally. The backlash on this one definitely made me make it a lot more initially. So it's kind of like the inverse effect.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you're kind of zagging when everyone else is zigging there. And I think part of the issue is it's a period piece, right? And I think that kind of works to its advantage and its disadvantage there, right?
Sure.
So it's like 90s. It's that 90s aspect there, which is cool, which I think there's some aspects which I like. But you're also putting it at kind of a dead zone in the MCU where there's nothing really anything else going on. So it's tough to kind of like connect to anything else when you're waiting for that in between of Infinity War and Endgame.
I'm really bummed that we didn't have scores for this. Like that really sucks, man.
Yeah, it's too bad.
I'm trying to comb back through it again and see if like there's anything whatsoever. But it's like, did you love it? No. Did you like it? Yes. Was it better than Wonder Woman? We both said yes. I would not stand by that today. Was it better than the last true MCU origin story movie? We have yes written down here. Doctor Strange in 2016. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think
no, I don't either. Yeah, wow.
Yep.
Ben because Mendelsohn this one has a 76.5 that we give it for a final score on the rewatch vault here between 78 and 75. So that ranks 31st out of the 34 movies. So just ahead of Thor 2, and The Incredible Hulk, and just behind Marvel's What If. So that kind of tells you where we feel about it now.
Yeah. So when I after the rewatch, I was like, okay, this is a significant dip from where I thought it was before, and it was definitely in the 80s before. I was like, okay, in the high 80s. I'm like, okay, do I want to do 80 even? Then I looked at some of the 80s that I have in like 78 range, and I was like, I could go to 75. But then I saw like Age of Ultron, Eternals. I saw I had those both at 78. I was like, nah, this is about a similar ballpark because again, it's like some of the ending stuff is not great, but I don't like it's fine. Like, and that 78 to me, like that's fine. I can't go below Thor or Thor the Dark World for this personally.
Right. Yeah. It's right there. And then again, I liked Iron Man 2, Eternals. I think, maybe I think it's in that conversation. I gave Eternals a 79. I might lower it. I don't know, but it's still in that mid to high C range for me there. And again, so we'll get into it here. We'll talk it out. And with the On Your Left award for the most rewatchable scene, Nick, we have this is thin categories tonight. I have Carol fighting an old lady on the train.
Yep, that's probably the winner because my other one was Talos showing up at the Rambo's house, which was pretty funny. And Ben Mendelsohn was great in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
But it's probably her fighting the old lady. Now, as I was rewatching, I'm like, she's like a spider monkey right now. That brought she was awesome.
She was moving around, but again, the balls on part of my French here on Verse Carol Danvers here to just openly punch a woman. Like, this is like kind of like Austin Powers-esque. Like, she's not a man. And just like is punching her, just knowing that she's a creep. I don't know. It's kind of ballsy.
No, she definitely didn't. She didn't hold back at all. And at the same time, obviously, she caught a peek at the actual old woman getting off the bus, but everybody holding their back. Yeah, that was good though. They did a really good job with that. And I know there's more to that we'll talk about in a bit, but to me, West, those are the only two real options because like you have her first real fight scene, right, where she's on the ship getting off the Kree ship. And like, that's pretty good. There's some cool moments there, but to me, it's just like there's really only one fight scene that you're like, this was I would definitely want to see this again.
Yeah, and again, there's cool memeable moments and there's cool things that kind of pop up to it. So we'll just get into the America's Ass Award of what age the best. I mean, this goes into like the 90s nostalgia, right? Of like, like crashing into the Blockbuster and like seeing the different movies from, I think it's 1995 is the year and different things that they have set up. I think it's a Terminator movie or something like that. And then all the different things that you were saying, right? There's like a pretty clear product placement in this and like the Street Fighter 2 references and like all the old beer signs in the Ponchos bar. Like, so I think that stuff's cool as a 90s kid, like going back to that grunge kind of soundtrack. I thought the soundtrack was really nice.
Yeah, I thought I definitely like the aesthetic in that sense. In every sense, I would say they did a really good job with it. I don't know if that's necessarily where I would go in all of this. Because obviously there are a few different things. You were the one that ended up filling up this whole category for us. But Fury using a piece of tape to lift a fingerprint and break out of Peg's holding room, and then adding on to that too, how Captain Marvel just decides like really late in the process, I'm just gonna blast this door open.
Uses the photon blast, right? That's a little funny back and forth.
Their rapport I thought was pretty good. Like I felt like Samuel L. Jackson, this definitely wasn't his best performance as Nick Fury, but at the same time, like this is a tough thing for any actor to do, where it's like you're playing this character for so long in one way, and then it's like now we got to go all the way back. We got to reverse engineer this.
Yeah, before you've gotten hardened and weathered and everything. Yeah,
so it's just like you can't be as badass as you want to be. And Samuel Jackson, like he just needs to be full badass all the time. So it's kind of tough. So I do think their rapport was good. And then one of the things you look at, like what age as well. I would like to see those two interact again down the line. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would say, that's a really good point because we haven't seen them interact yet, since this movie actually. Yeah, so that would be really interesting. And then again, you get a little sneak peek at one of the better quotes. But when Fury says, "You should see what I can do with a paperclip," nice nod to MacGyver, another 90s TV show that I used to love.
Right.
On Friday nights, watch that with the parents all the time.
Really?
Friday night pizza night, big MacGyver fan. Yeah. We mentioned the old lady on the train. This is public transit fights in general. That aged pretty well. We get Shang-Chi in there, of course. Maybe anything else that I'm missing? I feel like we probably had. Is there a Spider-Man fight scene in a transit area?
But there's always like that one signature thing, and like that pops up. But no, like not. Not public transit, but like Ant-Man. Obviously, you have the fight in the cars, but that's a little bit different.
Yeah, a little bit of a chase scene there. You got Homecoming there. He's on the Staten Island ferry. That's a piece of public transit.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, but no, I mean it's just these two really. I would say, and yes, like what age is the best? Like this one was good, but the Shang-Chi one was absolutely better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the last one here, Lashana Lynch, of course, who plays Monica Rambeau. No, Maria Rambeau. Excuse me.
Maria's the mom. Yes, Maria's the mom.
Yes, yeah. Who later would become Captain Marvel in Multiverse of Madness. So she kind of gets on that mantle. So she ages pretty well in a different universe.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, to see her like that when you know like she's not really going to be a part of the mix in any capacity down the line. It's going to be Monica. So yeah,
is she going to be in the Marvels though?
You know what?
I'm sure she could be in the Marvels at some point, right? Or no, she got blipped, right? That's what happened at the end of WandaVision? That's why Monica's like so moved by her and then gets her powers.
I don't know.
I think that's what happened there, right? We'll have to get ourselves refreshed. I think that's next next summer.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time between now and then. That's for damn sure. We're gonna have no shortage of Marvel stuff. Marvels, Miss Marvels, Captain Marvels. I don't know, whatever.
Well, plural. Yeah, we have plenty of Marvels.
Yeah, something. I don't know. It's marvelous.
The Mirror Match Villain Award for what aged the worst? And I'm just going to say quite literally, Agent Coulson and Fury.
Oh yeah, okay.
There it is. Now we get it.
Yeah, I didn't know when I saw the note. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
They were literally de-aged. They got. I'm not sure if they specifically Coulson. Coulson has some some steely looks, and Clark Gregg is a little bit more like homely looking.
Yeah,
like he's not a bad looking guy. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying like. Yeah, the guy's got a chiseled jawline in the 1990s, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that he's like very like not particular, but like I feel like the Coulson that we saw, he just like he's calculated with everything he says and what he does. I get that he's the rookie, but again, this is like reverse engineering, and I think you take the two characters that like are like not big characters, but they're not on screen driving the bus. Yes, in like behind the scenes, they're pulling a lot of like strings and whatnot in Coulson and in Fury, but like you're leaning on them so much, and you're not even leaning on them as them. And it's to a lesser extent for Coulson, but still, it seems a little bit like those are some things that stuck out to me in this. It's like kind of a little clunky their performances, more so Coulson than Fury.
Yeah, I mean, I was okay with them. Again, they've got kind of bit roles. You know, I was just happy to kind of see Coulson again. I wasn't really expecting him after dying on screen in the Avengers there. I guess he came back, right, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you watched that as well.
Yeah, I watched that for a bit. It was all right. But it's Inhuman stuff. So it's
exactly. The nickname Veers. Veers is
VERS. No.
Like, not a good nickname as far as nicknames go.
That's true.
It doesn't really roll off the tongue.
No, it doesn't. But I also I'm just annoyed. It's like it's VERS. Like that's verse or verse if you want to do that. I know you spelled verse with an E at the end, but Veers? How did you get
hard
that?
E, a long line over the E there. You know,
I know it's the Cree and not United States of America or Britain or whatever, but it's like that. How is that Veers and not verse? I don't know. Stupid. But you I almost jumped the gun on what you have here, but I know you have Jude Law and Jan Rog.
Again, another stupid name. These Cree names. I don't know what's going on here. Jan Rog. Maybe you caught the Jackass reference in the opening that I fumbled over there. But Rake Jan and Jan Rog. That's like all I could think of this whole time. And I'm just imagining Rake Jan playing Jan Rog, and I just think that would be very humorous to me. I would enjoy that very much.
That is a good one. But like we said, Minerva, like not Minerva. It's Min, like the Minnesota abbreviation dash Irva, and then you got Braun Char, which is terrible. Korath's a good one, but then we have Atlas. So Atlas or like At Last? I don't know. It's just brutal.
Yeah, I know. And like, is that where you're supposed to put the emphasis, or do you just say Atlas?
Yeah, we must be putting it on the wrong syllable somewhere.
It has to be. We need someone who speaks Cree to kind of come in and correct us here.
We should have brought in a Cree expert.
We should have. That was drop the ball. You had to go and go see your brother get married very selfishly. So
God,
I understand. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. We'll move on. We'll regroup here. How about the movie overall?
Yes, there we go.
Does that age the worst?
Yeah,
I don't know if it's fair because, like, again, like it made $1 billion, but it was so polarizing upon its release that I'm not sure if it's aged better. If I'm not really like crazy about it now, I don't know if it qualifies.
How many? Okay, if you had to guess, right? Obviously, we don't have the numbers written down in front of us. Unfortunately, they don't exist. How far would you say you dropped this on our scale of obviously 1 to 100 for those who don't know?
I think I like your take of like pushing against the public narrative here and like wanting to like something more than what it was. And like I remember like kind of having like a few eye rolling moments here because it is a little like again on the nose with some of the points that it's trying to make. But I would say it's like a lower 80s movie.
Okay.
Upon first watch.
Yeah, I think I had
that's like somewhere I would say.
I think I had it like 87 or something like that, just way too high. But again, like that might have put us just like in a 5-point difference. It could even put us like in a 4-point difference. But still, it's like that is if there's one thing that you and I are similar with, it's like wanting to push back at like people being really mad, people being really happy with all like the stuff. Like it's just like everybody can't love or hate it that much. So yeah, I probably dropped this close to 10 points for me.
What about Brie Larson's performance? Did that age the worst? What do you think? Because like this is kind of interesting because like a lot of people say that she was cold and like not played it kind of hollow, right? And it was like it kind of like, it wasn't really a big like emotional connection. I don't know. Maybe that's what I got. But when I was again not reading the comics, when I was reading back on who this character is, like that's kind of some of the consensus, like the idea that I got that she is like not really good at this people thing.
So we just talked about Miss Marvel, right? And you gave that a 79. I gave it an 89, right?
Yeah.
Both of us gave it a higher score than we gave Captain Marvel. Both of us don't care about like a comic book wise, just in general, knowing about the character beforehand. Miss Marvel, didn't care about her much. We only knew her really from Contest of Champions. Mm-hmm. Captain Marvel, we only knew her like I knew who she was like a little bit, but I only cared about her in the sense that is where Rogue got her powers, like of super strength and basically being invincible. That's it. Other than that, I didn't care about this character. But we just saw like how you take a Miss Marvel type character and you go and turn her into something really cool, and a lot of people she can resonate with. This with Brie Larson, yeah, I think that's fair to say. Like her like. She was trying to be I don't know if she was trying to be a badass, but it just didn't come across like that way at all times. Like it was just, I get what you're saying.
She's like military, right? And she's like kind of like a young hotshot to like get to her position at her age, presumably, right? So like,
yeah, I mean,
I can see that kind of arrogance that would come with that, right? Male or female.
It was almost like the old her was supposed to be kind of like Maverick. In a sense,
yeah,
which makes sense with the goose cat and everything too, of course. But I get there's like a past her and a present her, and she's going through a lot. But even within those like different stages for her mentally, it just felt like there wasn't like a thread to how she kind of handled things on screen. It was just kind of all over the place because I thought it started off well, but then like in the middle it's good, but towards the end, and I get it, she's kind of putting pieces together. We just run into some things and like the ending too, like talk about things that age poorly. The ending sequence where like you're seeing her over the years. Like, hey, listen, I'm all about like women like dealing with bullshit from men and like having to like work harder in certain ways and never getting any respect and all that kind of stuff. I am here for that 100%, like those stories. And we've seen that and we've seen it done well. That if you take that sequence out of this movie, though, I know people who feel similar to me, that kind of thing, it just didn't hit. Like you take that out, I probably bumped this up to an 80. It felt so forced. So like that's what they missed.
It was like an advertisement. Like I think it was even used as an advertisement. Like I think it's a great Nike ad, something like that. But like I think in a movie, like it feels a little out of place there. So I hear what you're saying on that.
And I know from like you can say, oh Nick, that's not for you. For the people that I know it's for, I've talked to people that's for, and they still didn't like it. Like it's just like, you didn't get it done right. It felt, and also you talk about feeling like an ad. To me, that's like I'm seeing a Marines ad. Right there. And that may be why it bothered me more than anything.
Well, I typed into the old Google machine here. Why do people hate Captain Marvel? Why do people not like it? So I got some, or why do people not like her, like the character? And it says Captain Marvel is ex-military. She is stoic. As a comic book character, Carol sucks at relationships. She's an elitist snob. She's terse. She's arrogant and has only a few close friends. She can't hold down relationships. So I can see this kind of coming through if that was like their read of the character coming into this, if that was the case. Like another one said most characters barely seem like real people, and Carol Danvers is a boring person to watch on screen, both due to a bland personality and subpar acting. The action was so-so at best. and the Joneses were only slightly better. It also shits on Nick Fury as a character. So it's going on and on.
Well, we talk about what aged the best, though. I will say when we saw her in Endgame, I liked her a lot more there. Like, we're only seeing her so much. Like, her being overpowered doesn't help her at all either. But they did a good job of not letting that go too far in this movie, of course, until the end. But in Endgame, I liked her a lot more for sure. But we saw less. So.
Well, again, if you have a hero with no flaws or no weaknesses, like how do you? Then it's not really a fun contest. That's like the Superman complex all over, right?
Right, and I will say, seeing her pop. Spoiler for anybody who hasn't watched Miss Marvel, seeing her pop up at the end like that was kind of cool. I was excited about that. Like, whoa,
it's cool. Yeah, cross pollination. That's what Absolutely. I'm all for here. Any Quantum Realm awards for unanswerable questions, Nick?
Well, I have one that's definitely unanswerable, and then I have another one that maybe actually, if we did a little research, we could figure it out, but I didn't do it because I wanted to be in here. How is Goose able to fit all them big ass tentacles in his body? Because that's just a little cat. And those tentacles are twice his size. There's like 5 of them, if not 8.
We're dealing with some monkeys, though. We're not dealing with some monkeys. I don't know. We're dealing with
what was that?
I don't know. I think I might have just had like a little bit of stroke here. I don't know what I was reading or something, but
I can empathize.
We're dealing with a multiverse of things here. This is like an alien of sorts. But in Harry Potter, we want to use a little bit of magic here. We have Hermione has like her little pouch, her backpack that just she can keep everything in there, everything in there, and it just has like a bottomless pit. So maybe some sort of magic is going on.
Yeah, that's a fair point. It is an alien, so it's fine. I guess I'll let it slide, but still unanswerable question regardless. My other one was, as we're watching the final battle scene of Captain Marvel versus the Kree, not where she goes into space. Like we're talking about like the hand-to-hand fighting stuff. We see the chick Kree who like never liked her, and they had like this little back and forth, kind of funny, maybe whatever. But she takes a shot at her, and then we see it's a Nerf gun, right? And then she turns the gun to check, and it's a Nerf gun. So I'm curious, how much did Nerf pay for that blatant subliminal ad in that final fight scene? It's probably like 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, that's good. Product placement, that's good stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of good product placement throughout this movie here. Blockbuster especially. I hope they got a nice payday because they could probably use it.
Yeah, but that one makes more like that Nerf one to me. I saw it and I never noticed it until this rewatch. What the hell? Talking about strokes, jeez. But yeah, I was like, that Nerf gun thing felt really, really forced right there.
Yeah. Yes. Let's get into what does it all mean, Nick? What does it all mean? The top Easter eggs and ties to the MCU. We have the mid-credits scene of Captain Marvel answering the call from the remaining Avengers. That's Natasha, Bruce, Cap, and War Machine. And she meets them asking, where's Fury?
Yep. And obviously, like at the time, an exciting development. Yep. And that probably helped with the score originally for me too. Like that was probably an extra point saved or something like that too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. What do we got for a thrilling end credit scene?
Yeah, Goose coughing up the Tesseract, and it's like, oh fuck. Yeah, actually, have we seen Goose outside of this movie?
I don't think so. Maybe in Loki popped up. I don't know. I don't think so.
That's an unanswerable question. Where the hell has Goose been all this time?
Where is Goose?
Yeah.
What's Goose doing with the Tesseract?
Yeah.
Well.
No. Wait, no. Just where's Goose in general? That's all I care about.
Yeah. Okay.
We saw where the Tesseract pops up later. We're fine on that. I need to know where Goose is because, kind of a game changer. But then we also get these.
I don't really care about cats like that.
So. Oh well, anyways, I do. Lee Cameo. Carol Danvers walks past Stanley when she's Skrull hunting on the subway. Stan is seated at the window looking at the script for Mallrats, which is the 1990 film that Stanley appeared in as himself, marking one of his very first Hollywood cameos. And honestly, I keep forgetting that it's Mallrats. I just keep hearing him say, I guess I haven't seen the movie in so long. He keeps saying True Believers, and that must have been his line in the movie, if not, right?
I think so. I might have seen Mallrats once. I'm not a big Kevin Smith fan. There's a couple movies I like. I like Dogma.
Yep.
I like what is it? Jane and Silent Bob Strike Back. But that's about it.
Yeah. Because the reason I keep hearing it is him just saying "true believer." It's like that's his thing. That's like what he says. Like, all the time. So that must have been what it was. But anyways, what else you got for me for the Easter egg awards?
The pretty big one here: the Avengers Initiative. Being started by Fury after noticing Carol's fighter pilot call sign as Avenger.
No, thank you. I'm all set.
No, you don't like that?
No, you like that?
I thought that was kind of cool.
Okay, I am so confused. Wes, you are the king of it's a little on the nose. And that of all the on the nose things that happened in this movie, that may take the cake.
That it was on. Okay, all right, I'll give you that one. But it's fine.
All right. Interesting.
Project Pegasus was seen in the Avengers, the site where Nick Fury was testing the Tesseract. Try saying that.
Yeah.
And it was also in Iron Man 2, a pretty famous scene where Tony was asking Jarvis for everything from Project Pegasus, Project Exodus, and Project Goliath.
Well, Goliath is
very interesting.
Goliath, that's a good one. So that's Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's Goliath.
What? Yes, literally Goliath. But Bill Foster. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, but the Exodus one, I'm not sure.
I'm not familiar with Exodus, but the Pegasus one of the Goliath, I thought that was cool. And then I think it's also in Winter Soldier, or maybe it's in one of the Iron Mans too, where they talk about a Sorcerer Supreme and they talk about Wakanda in there too. So Iron Man set off, a lot more than even we want to give it credit for. So props to that.
Yeah, he did. What is Exodus? I'm just trying to find it here.
We have the Street Fighter 2 reference in Poncho's bar. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, Exodus. Okay, shame on me for not knowing this one. In the comics, Exodus is the secret research of S.H.I.E.L.D. working on mutants.
Oh, look at that. So very interesting. Pegasus, Exodus, and Goliath.
I think you already know which one's taking the cake now, just because of that little factoid you threw in.
Well, there's a couple of cool theories that I got here, so hold your horses, Nick.
Boy.
There's a theory that Nick Fury could be a Skrull because he was seen cutting a piece of bread diagonally in Age of Ultron, and we learn in Captain Marvel, of course, that he hates toast that's cut that way.
Wow.
I don't know. Or maybe that's just a continuity issue. We're seeing that left and right with Marvel movies, Marvel properties recently. Another theory is that the shooting star that Carol and Monica see in one of the flashbacks is actually Peter Quill, circling back to him, shooting off to space after getting abducted by aliens. Wow. 1990s, that could be the right time.
Yeah, abducted from Earth in 1988.
Oh, maybe not then.
Now we're gonna have to go back. Yeah, it's tough, but we're gonna have to go back and check the tape on the Age of Ultron clip, because if that's the case, and then they end up making him like that would be awesome. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm going with Iron Man 2 just because I love my man Sam Rockwell, Justin Hammer.
I can go with that too. I'm fine. Either one's good, but I mean, yeah, either way, if it's a continuity thing, that's where you're Marvel, that's the whole thing. The MCU, you guys don't make those little mistakes. You're supposed to.
You can't. No. You're supposed to find the things that we don't notice and then tie them together.
Yeah. So I'll go with you on the Project Pegasus one, because that one, as I hear that, it's as you're telling me, it's been brought up previously. That does ring a few bells. Then we have where you really shine, the S.H.I.E.L.D. Internet Sleuth Award.
Yes, where I put on my Scoop B hat for a moment here. In April 2015, Feige revealed that Captain Marvel had been included in an early draft of the aforementioned Avengers Age of Ultron screenplay. But Marvel chose to remove this appearance because they didn't want to introduce the character before they were able to explore her backstory and personality first.
Okay, well,
so could have happened. By setting the film in the 1990s, McMillan felt that it would create the question of what happened to Captain Marvel and take her off the playing field ahead of the other Marvel movies we've seen.
So
interesting.
We glossed over that first note. That is an interesting note, by the way. Like I don't know if you necessarily needed to do that, because one of the things that Marvel does so well, it's like you take characters that, the characters we really like. Yes, we want you to really spend some time with them, but the ones that are like kind of like, okay, whatever, like, yeah, we want them in the mix, but we don't need too much of them. And Captain Marvel, like, I would think is one of those, but I don't know. Like, then we have this other factoid that you found. I think this one kind of takes the cake, Wes.
Well, Keanu Reeves was approached for the Jude Law's role of Ray Keon.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, why would you talk to Keanu Reeves about this role when you know it's a one-off? Like, I don't care.
Well, maybe not. I think they've been talking to him, trying to get him involved for a movie and finding a right fit for him for a number of reasons, right? For a number of roles. So, maybe they're just saying, hey, what do you think about this one? Who knows what approached actually means, That could be fancy journalism talk.
I guess so, Wes. I don't know. I think you're giving people too much credit. Like, this is one where I'm just like, you just want to have Keanu Reeves in the mix. Like, Jude, look, I'm not like this crazy big Jude Law fan, but I also don't hate Jude Law. Jude Law is kind of a big name. Like, people, like, everybody knows who Jude Law is.
Yeah, he's a big actor.
Like, I'm not saying I need him in the MCU, but like, you got him in the mix here. Like, you go and do that. Like, so if there, my thing is, if you're casting him in this role, I could see, like, it's not that much of a leap for them to seriously consider Keanu Reeves, just in the sense of like brand recognition, name recognition, whatever. And I don't like that they did that. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, well,
so that's my favorite one here.
It was a good decision for them not to do it then. Ahead of the film's release, Captain Marvel's quote want to see score, an audience anticipation poll from Rotten Tomatoes, had fallen to 28%. Ooh, I got a burp here. Reports described the decline as an effort by some to review bomb the film's page with negative comments attacking the film and Larson for perceived feminism. Rotten Tomatoes changed the want to see feature shortly thereafter, showing only the number of people indicating interest in the film instead of a percentage. They single-handedly changed Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean, I've like, and I know we got someone in the chat right now who's big Captain Marvel fan, who's throwing in some stuff here about Captain Marvel, what they love about Captain Marvel. But like, this is like, that's the problem. That there'll always be the problem with this movie, and I don't think it's anything to do, like, it's nothing to do with what we actually see on screen. Like, yes, there are some things like with the feminism, whatever. Like, yes, some people it rubs the wrong way. Again, I say like there's a little bit of a youth thing there, but there's some things they didn't do well when they're trying to lean into that. But it's just all the people had issues with Brie Larson coming into this, and it's just so like, what are you talking about? Like this, like I don't understand like how you're just going to go and try and destroy this movie. It's like in the end, Wes,
these people got an agenda. These are like Snyder cult people, cut from the same cloth, 100%. Kind of similar, very invested, maybe in an unhealthy manner.
Yeah, I mean, and God, you used to do 2 podcasts on this, and I do 2 podcasts on this stuff, and it's like you would think we're the ones that are invested in an unhealthy manner, and then it's like these people go and just to this nth degree.
But it's in anything though. Like, who takes the time to write a bad review, like a Yelp review or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just not one of those people. I'm sure there are. They're doing a service to a certain group of people there, but I'm not sure if I would take the time if it was bad. Right. If it was good, I might take it, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's absurd. But and then speaking of that, if you have any positive reviews before changing my mind, you can go and throw those on our iTunes page if you want to do that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But anyone who's like with those major Yelpers, anyone, we welcome the reviews. Please review us.
Yeah,
I think we shot ourselves in the foot.
No, it's still, we're talking about negative reviews. Like we go and do, but like that's the thing. Like when we do our movie reviews, like even with Dork and Mac and Goo and PCP, it's just like we're talking about stuff that we want to like, that we care about, and like we are like in a way like being critics in a sense, but at the same time, we're not viewing it just like that, like in this like snobby way either. Like we're trying to go in and like talk about like the fun stuff that we like, that we've liked since we were kids and all that. Like, I don't get it. And like, we're working through it, talking with our friends, not like going out to the ether as much as we kind of are like trying to ransack this thing. Like, no, we're talking about it together. And we just decided to put mics in front of us when we do it. So I don't get, like you said, just adding on to what you're saying, I don't get people who do this stuff.
Well, we got a good question here from Brad Tracomi. I think I got that name right there. I feel good about that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think in the current MCU are actually Skrulls, and for how long?
Oh my God!
We'll talk about those a little bit about Fury, but
yeah, I think the Fury call is a really interesting one. Fury could easily have been, like we've seen, right? Like brought back into the mix, kind of come out. Oh, looks like there's confirmation what she did nail the last name, so nice job. But so yeah, that he would definitely be one. Other than that, it's got to be some Agents of Shield. Like that. Those are the only other ones that I would think.
Agent Maria Hill, right? I think she's in that,
right?
But I don't know, right? Because
probably in the government too. Like Shield is the government, but just like
the government, they're working in there.
Yep,
so that's kind of the kind of interesting thing, but I also find it kind of frustrating at the same time with the Skrulls in here and how they can kind of shapeshift into anybody, because then it leaves open this almost unanswerable question of who was a Skrull. You have this like perfect MacGuffin. Anytime you kind of want to reboot something, you just say, "Oh, this person was a Skrull the whole time," and then we can just kind of nuke that character and then introduce a real one. You know what I mean? And it feels kind of like a cheap storytelling device, and it could be. I'm not sure if it will be used that way, but
you know what? This is an unanswerable question. You're absolutely right. Like this is one that we should have thrown into the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we completely missed it.
We could make it an episode, honestly, too. Like if we just went through all the bit characters, not the major ones, because obviously, like Cap's not a Skrull, but like if we went through all like the tinier characters who we've seen quite a bit, like maybe like a Mr. Harrington from Spider-Man or someone like that. Like,
well, see, I think you said Cap couldn't be. I think Bucky could be. He's one who's like kind of goes off the grid for a little bit of time. He's got his mind kind of warped, and he comes back a little bit different. So like maybe he could be swapped out, a little body double action there pretty quickly.
We could make it like a tiers episode kind of. Now it would only be like 3 tiers at most, like a Skrull, not a Skrull, and then I don't know. But we could probably do something on that. Like kind of rapid fire.
I think we could do that sometime. I like that there. So does Brad. So then we got that going. Good addition to the show, Brad. We like that. We like that.
Thank you very much. All right, so that brings us to, for the first time, I think ever since we've done this, I've been really excited for the Terrence Howard Award for casting What Ifs because of how controversial,
offensive,
because of how much crap Brie Larson caught in all this. Because I do wonder, like all this review bomb stuff would have still happened with some of these other individuals that were apparently considered for this role.
Yeah, so we have, and again, I don't know how confirmed they are, but I don't really care. So we'll just run with it here. This will be fun. Rumor mill central.
Yes, sir.
Emily Blunt, Jennifer Lawrence, Natalie Dormer, Game of Thrones, right? I think she was one of the Roses princesses there.
Okay.
She was also in the Hunger Games too. Charlize Theron, Olivia Wilde, and a little bit of a dark horse here, Ronda Rousey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and Natalie Dormer, I do recognize her. Seen her, I feel like a few things. I did not know the name, but yeah. Actually, Natalie Dormer, like if you're trying to stick to like the traditional Carol Danvers look with like the blonde hair and everything, I don't know about her as a leading actor, but I could have gotten behind that. Charlize Theron.
I bet you could.
Oh, geez, Wes. Wow.
Charlize Theron is my number one here.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Like, I like her a lot. I'm just like, for Carol Danvers, like this is one of those things where it's like I don't want her as Carol Danvers. I'd rather be as something else. I don't know about that.
She's Clea now, so like, would you rather her be Clea or Captain Marvel? Right?
Yeah,
so that's kind of like your two options, and I would rather her be Captain Marvel if that's like the choice that I have.
That's
Emily
fair.
Blunt, Jennifer Lawrence feel too. I don't mean this in a bad way. Soft. Does that make sense? They're like a little more rounded in the edges, like. I think that's what makes Charlize Theron kind of work. She's kind of like a little more sharp.
I just can't see Emily Blunt as like a superhero, and I think she said it.
Well, you ever see Edge of Tomorrow?
No, actually, I haven't.
She doesn't. She's pretty badass in that. But no, you are right. She has said that before. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, she said that. So it's like, I would if it was her and Krasinski as the Fantastics, like I'd be interested in that. But But J Law, I don't want any part of after what she did with Mystique, and like not just like the writing, that was their own fault how they did it, and I'm maybe in the minority. I didn't care for that, but like how she portrayed the character, like how she handled it, just like, no, I'm also
now. I don't know anything about her acting. I never saw The Expendables, but I'm really intrigued by Ronda Rousey and this overall idea of bringing wrestlers into the MCU. I love it because they're tailor-made to be larger than life figures. They're already are on the fitness regimen. You know, you can probably use them in more stunt work there, which would probably translate to a better product, a better looking product overall. I don't know anything about her acting, but I'm a fan of that, right? She's like a badass woman. Captain Marvel is supposed to be, again, like military, unbeatable, kind of OP. That was kind of Ronda Rousey's shtick for a long time.
Yeah.
In the UFC and then the WWE. So, I'm intrigued by that. I don't know how it would work out, but
I'll tell you what, if Ronda Rousey doesn't like her agent right now, she should hire Wes, because I think at first I was like, but then when you start talking about it, I was like, no, this sounds like a great idea. I can get behind Ronda Rousey. She may be my number one right now after just hearing your little elevator pitch on her. No, I don't know her as an actress, but
I am more bring more wrestlers into the fold as superheroes. I'm here for that.
Oh, what about Becky Lynch? I mean, she got that accent.
But I think you could do that. I think that's like stuff like that.
Olivia Wilde, I don't know about Olivia Wilde necessarily in that role. Like,
well, again, like we talk, like I think one of my issues with Multiverse of Madness and the Mighty Thor was Natalie Portman. I didn't buy her as a superhero. I think that's similar to like Olivia Wilde. Like they're like. And even to an extent, Brie Larson. These are like petite, women.
Yeah.
I think someone who's a little bit stronger, athletic build, thicker build, like Ronda Rousey, and I think Charlize Theron. Again, she's frail as well, but for some reason she conveys that a little bit more to me
because she's got like this commanding presence about her.
Yeah.
We saw her in the Old Guard, and like she definitely can come across as a leader and really play that well. Where that's a role.
Or Mad Max Fury Road and stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. She was great in that too. But I think Olivia Wilde, like if you put her in as like a spy role, I could get behind something like that. I think that's maybe it. But actually, Natalie Dormer, she was in the First Avenger. I didn't realize that.
Oh, was she? Oh,
yeah, I'm just pulling her up right now because I thought I saw her in Vikings, but I'm mixing her up with somebody else. But Charlize Theron, Natalie Dormer, and Ronda Rousey. Not necessarily in that order are my three that I would like to see in this role. I think they could have pulled it off pretty well. Well, Rousey, after your elevator pitch, I don't know her as an actress.
There we go. I love it. What is any memorable quotes? Any inevitable quotes?
Well, I don't know if there's anything on that level, but I will say, call me young lady, and I'm going to put my foot in a place it's not supposed to be. I did appreciate that. I also appreciated how Talos is just like, am I supposed to know what that means?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Ben Mendelsohn.
Little fish out of water joke. Ben Mendelsohn is great. Big fan of his. How about this? This is a nice Nick Fury quote here. War is a universal language. I know a renegade soldier when I see one. It never occurred to me that one might come from above. I like that.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one. That is a pretty cool one. I think I'm going to give my vote
War
to
is a
Maria,
universal language. I just like that quote overall. I think that's kind of profound.
Yeah, slightly. Actually, when you isolate it like that, it carries a little bit more weight too, because you always hear loves the universal language.
Or math.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah.
Once you get outside of that tricky metric system.
Yeah.
The sad Bucky Barnes Award for who lost the movie. I only had one option down here. And I had Brie Larson, but I also had her on for who won the movie. And then maybe that's a debate that we can have kind of separate from this here. But anyone else that comes to mind? I think of Annette Bening and the Supreme Intelligence. Jude Law, of course, kind of comes to mind with Jan Rog, because he's kind of like, no, you have to, he's kind of like beating on a woman without allowing her to be at full strength.
Yeah, I think,
like the whole time. Like that's kind of a tough look.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just like kind of not a great role to necessarily land for him. Like you just like Jude Law.
It's a tough spot.
I feel like Jude Law is like one of those people who's like kind of a polarizing actor, but I don't quite understand why. Because I just think he's like, yeah, he can be good, and sometimes he can be like whatever. I don't think he's ever really bad. But yeah, like for him, like you want more of like a real like ruthless asshole. I think like in this kind of role, not Jude Law, who's not.
Yeah, he's a little bit
that.
more softer.
Yeah, I mean, I think of Jude Law. I think of like I know this is far from like his most prolific role, but like him being Robert Downey Jr.'s Watson. Like that's kind of who I think of him as.
More of like an intellectual. Yeah,
definitely not this. Because he kind of comes off. I mean, in ways he is kind of stupid in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The only other nominee. Well, so Jude Law could definitely be up for this. But then also like the character Captain Marvel. Like you have the hype of Wonder Woman, right? And everybody, and now it's like, hey, Marvel, it's your turn. And then they turn to Captain Marvel. And maybe like if you were bringing her in the fold now, I know why you had to do it when you did. But at the same time, it's just like no one, like people don't like. I feel like if you brought her in Endgame, like that's where you introduced her. Some people would have been like, "Oh, you just brought her in and it was a cheat code." Yeah, but it kind of would have been a little more badass at the same time too. Then
and it would have fit. And then you kind of go off like almost like Black Panther in Civil War. You get that introduction, and you get his own movie coming off out of it. Yeah, I can see that kind of route. Yeah.
So like I don't like, again, Captain Marvel, not a character I care about, but that might have worked out a little bit better. But so either way, it's like Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. I think you're kind of mixing it in together either way.
J. Jonah Jameson Award, Best Performance by a Side Character. I had Agent Coulson and Talos. Do we consider Talos a side character?
I think you have to, because I feel like he's not like in like Well, yeah, but yeah, okay. This is a side character, not like a bit character. So yeah, I would say Talos. Yeah.
Okay. If we throw him in there, it's him.
Yeah, maybe we need to, because we've run into this before. Like, do we want this to be just a bit role, or is this no, we want a side character, period.
Yeah, it's just, and then we can discuss it. Yeah, if it's a side character, if it's a bit role, it's all in play.
Then it's not even a contest, it's Talos.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I like that there.
That leads me to my Edith nominee for this, to my Edith Award nominee for even though what am I throwing letters in for, or words? Anyways, you know what Edith stands for. Ben Mendelsohn. Ben Mendelsohn is my nominee.
Yeah, and again, he's such a great actor that you forget that he's like South African or Australian. Like, he has a really thick accent, and you don't really hear it. He did another movie, I think, with Anna Boden as well, called Mississippi Grind. It was on Netflix for a while. It's a poker movie, but he has a really like Southern, deep kind of Mississippi accent. He can really, change his voice like that. I think that's a sign of a good actor. So I'm there for it. And the other option, again, I mentioned this, I had Brie Larson on there just because it's such a big role for her. I know, she was Oscar nominated. I don't know if she won the Oscar for The Room or not, but I know she was kind of making the awards rounds before getting into this role. But this kind of just, I think, put her up at a different level, for better or for worse. So many people were talking about her, kind of raised her profile. So, put Brie Larson up there.
I'm trying to find stuff for what we're doing a little bit later. I apologize. But yeah, no, I'm not giving this to Brie Larson. I'm giving it to Ben Mendelsohn. There's no I get what you're saying, but I think there's too many people. Like, you have people who wanted her to fail and still feel she failed. You have some people that liked it. Like, but I don't know. I've never met someone who liked Captain Marvel more than me, and that's like, it's not great.
Yeah, it's a tough watch. It's a tough rewatch there. So that's life. But there's still a few tickets remaining on the final train of the Discharge Depot. So all aboard!
Yep. Damn it. So I already talked about my Discharge Depot coming out of this. Although I will say, while I was not feeling great the other day after the wedding, it was like, I do want to watch something, but I don't want to watch something like that I have to really take in, like a She-Hulk, like Game of Thrones,
House of the Dragon. Yeah.
So we watched The Most Hated Man on the Internet, that whole thing.
Oh yeah.
You talked about that on here, right?
No, I haven't seen that yet. I don't think I'll watch that, because that seems kind of like just like hateful, and I don't know if that will like. I don't want to bring that vibe in my life.
There's a lot of like hateful in the sense of
it's like revenge porn and stuff like that, right? And I'm like, nah, I don't need that stuff.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty like they like it's well done, but like what happened is pretty bad. But the people who fight back against it, but yes, there's definitely a lot of negativity that you got to deal with in it, for sure.
Wasn't there something like Butthole Girl or something like that? And like I saw something going around on the internet about that. She was one girl. One of the people who was interviewed was known as like Butthole Girl.
It's rough, dude. It's really rough. Like this guy's he is such a piece of shit. Like I mean, we hear over the years about a lot of people who are just a-holes, but this guy might take the cake. Like legitimately called the most hated man on the internet. I mean, like,
lives up to it, right? Yeah, lives up to the title. Yeah,
it's bad. But
the other doc that I'm kind of interested in is the kind of in a similar vein is the Manti Te'o documentary.
Yeah, I am interested in checking that one out too.
Because that was wild. I remember like reading that as it came out. And I remember, I don't know, it was like a big Rolling Stone article and like really riveting stuff. And like, I'm not sure if an AI could make up the twists and turns of that. Like she was like, they were dying at one point and they credited her Manti for like bringing him back on life support. And he's going through like this perfect season of the national championship game with the #1 team in the nation. Like, it's just like an amazing, crazy, once in a lifetime type of story.
And as someone who like met their like significant other on like online dating and stuff like that.
I thought you used to say you met Manti Te'o's significant. I got you. Yeah.
Like it's just like I still look back on it like how did this happen to you, dude? Like how I get it was more of the Wild West back then than it is now, but just like how you're not a little bit more careful than so it's strange, very, very strange.
You're a college athlete, right? I mean, like how demanding is it in season? I'm not sure if like football and baseball are equatable, but if this was like when you're so into a football season in the middle of it and you don't have any downtime, you know, like maybe it's easy to just kind of like not want to look into it because that's your escape.
You know what?
I don't know.
That's not me, but I also understand that. Like, I understand what you're saying. That is a fair point. At the same time, dude, like football players absolutely party, and even if he didn't, like, I forget it. He was like supposed to be like a clean cut kind of guy or whatever.
He's a Heisman Trophy candidate, though. He could walk on campus and like, yeah.
But you don't need to go and put in all this like work. Like, it's more work doing what he was doing with the online like stuff, talking all the time. Like, go just out and meet people. Like it wasn't like now where it's like you had to deal with all the COVID stuff for the past couple of years. Like you could just back then on a college campus. No. Like you said, Heisman candidate. Come on.
What for is Notre Dame? You know, like
Notre Dame. Yeah. I can't stand Notre Dame. Like, but like, let's be honest here. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. You know, you're talking about like a real, blue chip program there. But yeah. Yeah, so a couple good things though to watch on the docket there between those type of documentaries and of course the rehearsal you got and the Sandman, Paper Girls, so plenty of good things.
Oh, I finished that definitely that's like because we have the Sigma categories where it kind of throws me off a little bit because like Sigma's what like a 97 and above you'd say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'd say Paper Girls is like high B range,
maybe even A++. You ever get one of those? Like you get a bonus question right, maybe you get a 102 on a test.
Yes, definitely for sure. But yeah, I'd probably put it in like Paper Girls in the high B range. I like that quite a bit.
Okay,
good job, but I can't give it an A. What about you, though? What's been going on with you?
Oh, my God, man. Yeah, so I was invited out to play golf at my buddy's country club out in Rhode Island. Very nice, very swanky club. His wife gives him so much shit about golfing, though, that he has to be first. There's no reservations, no tee times. It's just you show up, and then it's like whoever shows up first come, first serve. Okay. So he's like, we have to be here at 6:45 to get the first tee time so we can set the pace and then be done at a reasonable hour where his wife is not nagging him because they have like a 1+ year old, so something like that. So great, no problem. It's me, him, his future brother-in-law. We're playing out. It's having a good time. We're on the 13th hole. It's right where his family or her family has like a house right on the course there. It's a big compound where everyone comes down for the summer. And it's right at the green of the 13th hole and the tee box of the 14th hole. We're approaching the 13th hole. The wife of the brother-in-law, the wife of my friend, are now coming out of the house, approaching the green as we're approaching the green. We're kind of closing in on it like a sandwich. My buddy Mike, who has the 1+-year-old, swings his approach shot. He's about 65 yards out, and pulls it right to where his daughter and his wife are walking. And on one hop, hits his daughter in his face. And he didn't realize it. And I'm like talking. I got like 5 beers deep. I'm just like talking to him at this point. So I'm far away. I don't know what's going on. The brother-in-law is right around that group seeing it happen. And my buddy goes, did I just hit my daughter in the face with a golf ball? And he's like speeding off to up to the scene of the crime, slams on the brakes. The cart skids and fishtails out. He runs up to it. She ends up being fine. So
I would
save
so,
the suspense. Save the suspense of the story there. But like they all run inside, and I'm like, now what am I going to do? What can I offer in this situation? Like, I'm not going to run inside there. I can't leave anything. So I'm just kind of left there for a moment, like looking around, like sipping my beer. And I was like, well, I'll wait for the other people behind us to come and kind of play through. So they come up to us, and I'm like, I was like, hey, you guys can play through. They're like, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah. I was like, we just had they live right here. They just had to run inside a small family crisis. And they said, is it all right? And I was like, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. So they putt and they go onto the tee box, which is like 10 feet over from the green for the next hole. And the brother-in-law comes over and he just says rather loudly, he's like, yeah, she got hit in the face, man. We're packing it up. We got to go. And so like they look over and they look at me and then look at him. They're like, wait, you said it was fine. And he's like, it sounds like he's really worried. And so it was fine. It was just a funny, humor in a unfunny situation.
Wow,
that's kind of what I look for in those situations, like the humor and like, of course, stressful situations there. Because like the funny thing is that he's lamenting the whole round about his wife's like giving him shit about it takes too long to golf. You golf too much. You shouldn't be golfing. You got to do this. You got to do this. He's never going to be able to golf again.
No shot in hell. No
They'll
way.
laugh about this in 6 months, but he'll never be able to golf again.
100%. Dunzo. No way. No coming back from this.
Played 13 holes,
Well, it's not a bad round. The thing that sucks is you paid for 18. So
no, I didn't pay. He's a member. Right. He's a member. This is very like swanky country club living here,
Oh, okay. Well, then you're good. Then you made out like a bandit.
Yeah, kinda. I just drove down to Rhode Island. That was all. And but that's like not. I don't care about that.
That's not ideal. But
yeah. Everyone's okay. So that's
thank God, because when I heard about this from you, I was like,
wild stuff.
What? Yeah. But anyways, it is so quite the weekend that we had.
Yes, right. Needless to say.
Also, don't think I lost insight on all this. That you started at tea time at 6:45, and you were 5 beers deep by the time that this happened.
Well, so we had to get there at 6:45. The course doesn't actually open until like 7:30. So I was putting around, but yeah.
Okay, so not too bad then.
By 11 o'clock, I was 5 beers deep. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine.
That's good.
Anyways, it is time for
Shared Universe.
So just double checked it earlier. #Dork is doing Better Call Saul this week.
Okay. Sure.
Mac and Goo, they're doing TV series finales tiered. Wow. I mentioned earlier for TLDR, we do have something in the works, and we will have what's new, of course, as we always do whenever we have things in the works. And then People for Communism podcast. Are they on this like streak again of not doing episodes? I know stuff's come up for Billy.
Yeah, I guess so. Billy's just living his life right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. He went out to
Vegas.
He was out in Vegas. Yeah, and that's why you had the TLDR week on Mac and Goo, because Joe did the TMNT stuff. I still got to listen to that episode.
Yes.
Then I've heard it both ways. Season 4 episode. It's supposed to be 17 this week of Psych. Maybe it's 16. I don't know.
They had Jacob Morocco of the Crossing State Lines podcast on last week. Do a season finale, season premiere, something like that. So
okay, gotcha. Well, neither of us, Wes and I never watched Psych, so I've heard it both ways. Go listen to it if you like the show. As for the streamers, Doc, of course, at Backcracker on Twitch. If Shime ever twitches again, it's going to be at Shime Time, and then Dork, it's over on their YouTube page. They both do their video game playing. Whenever they do that, over there. That is it, though, Wes. Are we TBD for next week?
Well, it's my birthday episode of choice.
That's right. Yep.
And I am between the Three Ninjas rewatch. Ninjas rewatch. And an old childhood favorite, speaking of Blockbuster. Used to rent that a lot as a kid. Or a critique of the male physique. And this was something that we were kind of talking about last week, right? A little bit there. And, we talked about this in the Northman. I think this is just kind of like a sweet spot there. Maybe we could do something with that. So I'm open to either, but I'm also open to some input.
Well, if you, my input would be it comes down to a coin toss. Like if you can't decide on your own, I'm saying we leave it up to chance.
I say okay. So with the birthday, I think we should do the male physique at some point. I think we have a couple open slots after this week in the month of September. I think we, fall year, we're getting back in, right? This is usually a start of a season for people, We could talk about our favorite male physiques in sports.
Okay,
not sports, but in movies.
We could do both. I mean, clear your heads in a certain place.
Well, yeah, I'm usually in the sports world anyway.
Yes, this is true. Okay, so we're doing that next week for sure.
No. We'll do that in September. We'll do Three Ninjas this week because I won't have an opportunity to review Three Ninjas. Other than it's my birthday.
Well, so Three Ninjas for sure. The critique of male physique, though, we could also do that like right after the holidays because that's when everybody goes back to the gym. That'd be another thing.
Exactly. We can hold on to that one there. But I like that idea.
Yep, got to put that one in the hopper for sure. But we'll do Three Ninjas rewatch.
You've never seen this before. Have you even heard this movie?
I have heard of it, yeah, because you've talked about it before.
Okay.
I feel like I'd heard of it before, but I'm not certain. So rewatch.
I haven't seen it in maybe 20 years, but it's fond memories.
Okay. Well, fingers crossed that I end up liking it. We got one last question from Brad in the chat that I figured we'd throw your way. Speaking of male physique, Wes, you going for a Mission Impossible 2 Tom Cruise look?
Yeah, with the hair. I'm well, listen, if I really showed you my real look, I would have to tear off my fake mask. I'm not ready to do that yet. So
look at that.
Look at that. How's that for a reference, huh?
Very well done.
I can't talk anymore today. We got to end this program.
All right, until next week then.
Yeah, same bat time, same bat space, place, lace.